Yeah, so if you had told me before the game we would have won the rebounding battle by three, I definitely would not have believed it. So obviously credit to Vegas firstly, and yeah, of course we want to win every single game. But outside of the turnovers tonight, I think there are a lot of good things, and especially on the glass. This was last time we played Vegas at home. We were really exposed in that area. So it was really, really good to see how we flipped the switch and really turned that around. I think really story of the game was those turnovers, especially so many of them being on live balls, which are the ones which hurt you the most, because then it's literally just transition layups, wide open shots that you're conceding. And it was tough, obviously take a look at it on the film later tonight, but I think it was tough to really see a theme to where those turnovers were coming. I think a few were definitely pick and roll based. We took us a while to really find advantages against their drop. I thought Smith was really good in their drop in that first half, and it was tough for us to exploit our drive arounds, our pockets like we normally do. But it was too late by the time we started finding some success through it in the second half. But yeah, that would be the story of the game, and did want to just highlight the get better group. That's what we call our version of stay ready. I thought they did an excellent job in that last 2 minutes. Saw some really nice glimpses there with our younger players. So credit to them. I always want to win that quality time period, and I was really happy with how they played.
Questions?
Coach, you had four different players that were in double-digit scoring. I know it was not the outcome you wanted, but it did seem like everybody contributed. Can you talk a little bit about the culture you're fostering around creating that so people can contribute?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really important to highlight with the offense, because even though we are really centered upon creating advantages with our ones through pick and roll, it doesn't mean they're the ones scoring. It's they're creating the advantage, and they're creating the dominoes for others to use. And I think we've really, Carlo and Taya are doing a great job of that. And I think we're really getting that concept in terms of, yeah, even though they're the ones who are, getting the highest usage, handling the ball the most, it's all about the decisions we make out of that, and that's everything we're training. So, yeah, I think we're seeing that, and I think we're still going to keep getting better as the season goes on with our cover solutions and more people being involved offensively.
Can you talk a little bit more about the rebounding? I mean, you guys just came back from a pretty challenging road trip, first home game, and you played the Aces, and you out-rebounded them.
Yeah, and that's one of the huge positives. I think we're asking the group to do some really different things when it comes to rebounding. But hey, when something is drastic, you need a drastic response. And I don't like going half feet in. If I'm doing something, it's both feet in. So came up with these rebounding ideas. The group, credit to them, they're really bought in. And look, we're still near the bottom of the league. I think a lot of rebounding is personal based, but I really can't fault the effort of the group. I can tell you every single shot the opponents are taking, they are trying so hard to do their job. So I'm proud of them for that.
Taya has really come into her own as your primary bench scorer at times. In the first few weeks of the season, SA was kind of your big, hidden weapon with the second unit, and then you put her in the starting lineup a few weeks ago. How big has having Taya as your kind of primary scorer been?
Yeah, absolutely, and can't speak enough, Nick, for just what Taya's bringing. Well, I'll talk about the on-court in a second to answer the question, but I think just from the leadership perspective and how I see her helping mentor Carla, it's huge with the experience she has. I think, and look, she could easily be deserving more minutes, but it's, with Carla playing so well as our future, franchise one, it's, Taya's come into this role with a great mindset, and I think it is different, coming from Europe to the W. I think the pick and roll covers are really different. I think now Taya's really started to settle into that, but it's Europe, you see a lot of show, you see a lot of very aggressive covers, and you just don't see that in the W. If things are conservative cover, like some type of drop, some type of down, and I think we don't emphasize shooting non-paint twos, and that now Taya's really finding some good solutions to shoot more pull-up threes, and I think that's what we saw tonight with the offense. Her taking more of those, which are great shots for us. allows her to be more comfortable and create advantages in the pick and roll. So that's something we really want to keep emphasizing in this next stretch of games.
The team won the fourth quarter 28-19. What is it about the fourth quarter that allows you guys to be so dominant in that final frame, and how do you kind of bottle that and spread it across the other quarters?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always tough to pinpoint the exact why, and I'm always skeptical of doing that because I think it could be many things. It could be the rotations and how we're not, playing starters very heavy minutes, like 35 plus, but playing 10 and, having shorter stints. So that's why we're 7-2 in clutch games, I think. But it could just be the great job of the performance team and how they're doing such good work to keep them ready. Maybe it could be their end of game execution. So I like to think it's, all of these factors maybe that combined. And I think a lot of it is credit to the players. I don't want to take credit for any of that. I think it's, I love what I'm seeing from them in terms of how they're organizing themselves, being really clear communication-wise on dead balls, huddles, what we're looking to achieve offensively, defensively. So, I want to say it's all the players.
The last game you guys played, I mean, you're one all-time great game from Chelsea Grayway from really coming away with that win. She what did she make, 8 of 12 the last game from three? And she had 8 points today, only shot 4 threes. Was that part of the game plan, was controlling her, or was that kind of?
Very much so, very much so. I think, and that's the tough thing with such a great team like this. You've got so many players where you stop one thing, but then it leads to something else opening up. So it's really tough schematically because, obviously, Asia 32, incredible performance, and just sending doubles, shooting over the double, driving around, finishing creatively on her right hand, when we're trying to, not allow that left hand rip through, and she's still finding great solutions. And then, when you feel like you're about to contain her, then Young, Gray, they're going to step up and do something. But no, I thought we did a much better job on Gray tonight, and that was a positive, especially after that first game.
Hey, you really lit it up in crucial moments of the game. I'd love to hear both about those and how you showed up, but also before you came in, the coach was talking a little bit about the difference between playing in Europe and playing here, and how you're adjusting to that, and what is fun about playing in this environment.
Yeah, for sure it's different. I mean, anyway, all the players are already kind of big. When you see this paint, it's so full, But I feel I just, in Europe I was more as a passer, and that is still in me as a habit, and I just have to switch it up, to be first, maybe try to score and after to pass because it's gonna be easier. So for sure that is an adjustment, and. But the league it's great to play. It's amazing to be in the league and just to be with the fans, especially playing at home. It's I'm really enjoying it.
Taya, part of your bringing you in was kind of, the plan was to be a mentor for Carla, and potentially next year with Ayana, with your decade of experience playing pro basketball. You kind of have that pass first mentality. In the beginning of the year, Carla was just attack, drawing fouls. Has some of her rubbed off on you? Kind of the opposite of what the intention was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, coach is saying, be her mentor, But from the other side, I see the way how she's attacking one-on-one, and for sure, this is amazing. So I can take also something from her. What is she's been in the league already, last season. So it's her second season. She already knows how everything is going. So for sure, from this side, yes, I would say, yeah.
A few weeks ago, or I guess in the early season, Sarah Ashley was kind of the primary, scorer coming off the bench, and then a few weeks ago, coach made the decision to put her in starting lineup, and then obviously there's a hole there, who's the primary scorer coming off the bench, and then in the past few games, you've kind of taken over that role. Was that kind of an intentional thing that you were someone's got to do this? Let's see if I can be the person.
Yeah, especially, our second unit, it's more. I'm gonna say we have shooters there, but it's you have to make things up so somebody's open to shoot. But from other side, I'm gonna say it's a bit harder for sure to play. But we're trying to figure out what is the best. Maybe more of ball screens, more so we can have more space in the offense. And of course, I have what I said before. I have to take also that responsibility and be more threat to the basket and be also have more scoring mentality.
Megan, I've talked to a lot of fans that say they love watching you develop and love watching you put up points here in Portland, and they're glad you are here. What's it like, though, having such a great game and playing against a former team?
Yeah, it's obviously a little weird. I was with the Aces the past couple of years and won a championship with them. So obviously there's a lot of motivation there to want to do well and to beat them. Unfortunately tonight we did not, but we're always going to put our best foot forward no matter who we're facing. And I kind of just treated it like any other game. But there's a lot of love there too, and it's always great seeing their faces. I really loved my time with the Aces. I learned a ton, obviously. Learning from Asia, learning from, Becky and all of them. I really gained a lot of confidence there, and now you can see that kind of in my game now.
Megan, the last time you guys played the Aces, it was a pretty winnable game, and the rebounding kind of was the real, thing that stood out in the box score. Today, I think you guys had more rebounds than they did today. And I know that that's been a big thing that you guys have worked on this past few weeks. Do you think that you guys kind of have the formula now to potentially get over that hump of the rebounds being an issue?
Absolutely. I think honestly the past few games we've been out rebounding our opponents. It's been a huge intention that we've worked on in practice and just emphasizing it over and over again. I think there's little parts of our games here and there that, okay, if we have rebounding down, today it was the turnovers, and before that, maybe we took care of the ball, but then we didn't rebound. And that's kind of what happens when you're kind of a new team trying to figure it out. We're in the middle of the season, but you see stretches of really good things. So I'm really excited to keep growing with this team. We have a lot of games left, and we're going to put it together. And I'm just really proud to be able to wear this jersey.
Just to actually follow up on that, Megan, we're kind of right at the middle of the season, maybe a reflective time, who knows, but an idea of the Fire are still in the playoff hunt as of now, and like you said, a lot of basketball to play. What is, from anybody, the kind of mentality that you have moving forward, not only after this loss, but just looking at the second half of the season to see what you have to do to move forward?
I think just intensity. When we have a really good, energy on the court, really good things happen. Whenever we kind of shy away from being aggressive defensively, offensively, that's when we kind of make our mistakes and we kind of hesitate. So I think if we just continue to do that, coach kind of puts us in really good positions to rotate in and out, kind of empty the gas tank when you're in, and then, get that rest when you need to on the bench so you're ready to go 100%. But, just really proud of our bench tonight. I think they really provided a lot of support. They've been doing that the last few games. And so we're going to continue to need that moving forward. And just believing in ourselves, having confidence. We've beaten some really, really good teams today. And, this year, but today specifically, we didn't play that good, and we made it an 8-point game against the Aces. So we have a lot to be excited about moving forward into the second half of the season.
How do you two understand the fourth quarter? We asked Coach about this as well. You outscored the Aces 28-19. What accounts for that surge that can come in the fourth quarter?
I think we just kind of forget the score. We don't even look at if we're up or down 20. We just, again, try to focus on being super aggressive, whether we're trying to trap the ball screen or whatever. We don't really care, if that makes sense. We care, but we don't care. But then it helps us take care of the ball better. It helps us kind of be more aggressive and be more confident, not worried about making mistakes. So I think that's helped us a lot in games like this, but also in clutch games.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. You saw games we didn't give up at the end, so that's our mentality also. And sometimes you lose at the end, but the mentality has to stay the same.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about playing in front of this crowd? What's it been like for you?
For me it's amazing. They are so loud, and especially I could feel today because after I think 3 weeks we didn't play here, it was we are back. I can feel the crowd. So it's it's just so cool. And also a lot of people coming. It's so cool for the city and for our team.